Hi everybody, I'm Fab Fontaine. You're watching Fonte's Inferno, the circle for fans of film and comic books. In this episode, we're going to take a look at my comic book pickups for New Comic Book Day, November 4th. My comic book haul for this week includes 9 new releases from November 4th. I normally try to buy physical copies of my comic books, but I couldn't make it to my local comic book shop this week, so I bought them digitally on Comixology on the day of release. Some spoilers ahead as I set up the stories for these particular issues, but I'll keep them to an absolute minimum. So let's take a look, and some more detailed reviews will follow in separate videos. First up this week is Image Comics Crossover Number 1, written by Donny Cates and drawn by Jeff Shaw. This is a book that I've been hearing about for a while, so I put it at the top of my list, and it didn't disappoint. Crossover Number 1 explores what life in America has turned into 3 years after the superheroes of the comic books broke through to reality and knocked out an entire town in Colorado. The town and superheroes are kept in a protective barrier, and polite society has turned against comic book heroes in a way that would have made Dr. Frederick Wortham proud. Donny Cates crafted an engaging story with artist Jeff Shaw, and I'll be taking a deeper look at this comic book in a separate video. Written and drawn by Jeff Lemire, DC's Sweet Tooth Number 1 was another comic book that was on my radar this week, but mainly due to the curiosity factor. In this volume of Sweet Tooth that takes place 300 years after Volume 1, a young boy with deer-like antlers and ears grows up alone but under watchful eyes in a forest that isn't what it seems. The story was a little predictable, but the ending will probably have me come back for issue number 2. In the second volume of AWA Studios' Year Zero, the zombie apocalypse is in full swing as we're introduced to characters from different parts of the world, living in various states of comfort as they try to navigate their new normals. Written by Benjamin Percy and drawn by Juan Jose Rip, this comic teases just enough about the characters to draw you in. I'll be back for issue number 2. Stranger Things Dungeons & Dragons Number 1 is a book that I knew I would pick up just by looking at the cover. I generally stay away from comics adapted from television, but Stranger Things Number 1 drew me in right off the bat with the Dungeons & Dragons angle as Mike, Will, Lucas, and Dustin are introduced to D&D in 1981. Overall, the story, written by Jody Houser and Jim Zub and drawn by Diego Galindo, was what I was expecting, but nostalgia aside, it's unlikely I'll purchase issue number 2. In Marvel Comics, Captain Marvel number 23, Carol Danvers and Danny are transported to 2052 New York, where they encounter a supposed-to-be-dead Luke Cage. They quickly learn it's only Cage in physical form, and he's being used as a messenger for a mysterious new character. Carol assembles her team, and they're on their way. Written by Kelly Thompson with art by Lee Garbett, Captain Marvel 23 was a good starting point for me to get back into the series. The final panel raises more questions than answers, so I'll give issue 24 a chance. In DC Comics Batman 102, it's another dark, mysterious night in Gotham City, and the Ghostmaker is trying to pick up Batman's slack in search of the Clown Hunter. Batman, not having an easy time of it himself, picks up that Ghostmaker is on the case, and they may already have a connection. I really enjoyed the art by Carlo Pagulayan, Danny Miki, and Carlos Danda, and James Tynan's script makes you want to come back for issue 103. Web of Venom Empire's End number 1 reminds us that sometimes it's not the best idea to pick up a random escape pod that's floating in the depths of space. Written by Clay McLeod Chapman and drawn by Guy Villanova, this first issue starts at a slow pace but builds up the suspense with each page. I'll stick around for issue number 2. Marvel's Wolverine Black, White, and Blood number 1 contains 3 new Wolverine stories, with the draw being the black and white artwork with only red coloring for some backgrounds, highlights, and to represent the blood spilled by Logan, which is a lot, by the way. Each story shows a different side of Logan, with writer Jerry Dugan and artist Adam Kubert taking us back to the Weapon X program, Matthew Rosenberg and Joshua Cassara taking Logan to Hungary versus Hydra, and Declan Shelvey taking Logan to a mysterious house in the woods. Unfortunately, in spite of the dynamic art, the stories feel more like a rehash to remind us of what we already know about Logan as a character. It's unlikely I'll make it to issue number 2. Marvel Comics Thor number 9 is an engaging story by writer Donny Cates and artist Nick Klein, with Thor wanting to take a break from his godly responsibilities and switch places with the dormant Donald Blake. This story shows us what happens to Donald Blake when Thor is summoned, and we learn he didn't exactly have it easy. Good story and art, and it's a good starting point for me to get back into Thor. I'm looking forward to the next issue. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, please hit the like button. Leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell for notifications. And check out my website, fontesinferno.com, where you'll find other reviews and interviews from previous years. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the Inferno.